Boys, it is day number 22 of making our own tower defense game, and today I have to make the executive decision here to say to Gnome Code, I checked out his video. He's making a shop system that is so outdated. No tower defense games do that anymore. We cannot follow along any longer. Maybe the last episode we could check it out, 22 of his, but 21, waste of our time. I don't think we're going to go ahead and do that. We got plenty of other things we could work on today, such as, setting up the matchmaking in a different setting, or what today's plan is going to be to work on the UI a little bit for the lobby. Because right now, as you guys can see here, our, lobby is essentially just the lobby. There's no UI, right? Other than the little bit of floating UI over there, but it's not even UI technically. So today, I want to set up a couple different things. Number one, we got to get some buttons made for the left side of the screen, right? That's obvious. Number two, I want to have our little placement things down here. So like, 1 to 5 of, what units we have unlocked, or sorry, I should say equipped. Because, well, right now, when we spawn into lobbies, you're just equipped with what we have set up. So that's not going to be how that all works. That's a stupid system. We got to have a max setting of 5 and stuff like that. Now, these are all things that Gnomeco does not go over. So your boy's kind of on his own now. This is where, things are going to get a little kind of hectic for me. And I'm going to try my best to figure this out and hopefully actually make progress from day to day. So today, let's just work on this UI. So first things first. Starter GUI, and this is kind of just me doing my own thing now, boys, because like I said before, we're kind of on our own now. So seriously, wish me luck, because I'm gonna need it, no joke. But let's put this frame here. This frame, we're gonna call this one left side of the screen, so we'll call it left buttons, I guess, and that'll just make sense because it's gonna be all of the left buttons, right? So we'll do that. Set up a little anchor point just because I think we're supposed to do that. So boom. And I still don't see my frame. It's probably because this, I don't know why I can't see my frame, to be honest with you guys. Oh, wait, it's because I'm playing the game right now. Oops. Absolute noob mistake right there. But anyways, open this up. We'll get this frame going. So let's toss that on in there. And like I said before, we're going to go ahead and make sure we anchor this. I think that helps with the mobile players. So shout out to my mobile players out there. We're going to help you guys out. Of course, we're not going to leave y'all behind here. I got y'all. So when it comes to size, we're probably going to go like 0.2, comma 0, comma, let's see here. Honestly, it could be the whole screen, but we'll just go 0.5 for right now, and then comma 0. We'll see what that looks like. And we're going to have to drag that to, where we want it, positional wise, somewhere right there in the middle. So it says 0.1. Which I don't know why it says 0.1, honestly, but, we'll go 0.1 just so it's, like, perfect here on the position, and then 0.5 is actually perfect. So far, so good, and honestly, the size of this could honestly probably just be 0.1, because otherwise, it might just be too big for literally no reason at all. Maybe 0.15 would be more, so yeah, that's looking a little bit better, guys. What do y'all think? I think that looks good. And then as for the size, I think that maybe 7.5 is going to be more, that's probably better, guys. That's probably better, because we're going to have units, shop, trade, all that good stuff. So like I said, guys, there's lots that we got to do here today. So we'll probably go on to Flat Icon. It's a website where you get some, pretty much free to use models, not models, but like photos and like icons, stuff like that. We'll just give credit in the Discord. That's what we did for our other game. No issues with that. They just say as long as you give credit, you're good. So we'll do that. But this frame, once again, we got to call this left buttons here, and boom, there we go. And then inside of this frame, this is where we're going to have a template button, essentially. So this would be text image button, maybe. Honestly though, it might need to be here. Let's open up our not toolbox, but our asset manager. Go to places. We're gonna open up our arena real quick, because I want to see how we did it for some of the other stuff, just so I could get an idea, because it's always gonna be a good idea to kind of like build off of what we had, right? So I personally think that this might be a good idea. Now this billboards thing right here, I don't know what this is, guys. Billboards, it says. I don't know what that is. It says billboards right there. I actually have no idea. There's a whole folder for billboards, and I don't know what that is. Let me start the game real quick. I don't know what that is, guys. It says billboards, and there's nothing in it. I don't know why that would be there. Hopefully the game's not broken. I don't remember doing anything on accident the other night, but I very well might have. I don't remember though. It literally just says billboards. That's really, really weird because, you know, in all honesty, there really shouldn't be any billboards there, I don't think. So that's kind of strange, not gonna lie, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. Anyways, this guy right here, you know, he's trying his best, but he's kind of getting cooked right now. You know, he's doing his thing though. But yeah, I mean, the game works fine, so I don't know what that is all about there. I could probably just, should I just delete this and see what happens? Let's just see what happens. I just deleted that billboards thing. I literally have no idea what that is. So let's pretend that that wasn't there. And we're gonna go back and just try this one more time because I don't know what that was. So, okay, now that I did that, it looks like it actually did break the game. Infinite yield, wait for child billboards. What the heck, guys? I have no idea. I guess that was something that we weren't supposed to do, apparently, but I don't know what that was. I just don't remember that actually being there, boys, like at all. Like straight up, I do not remember that being a thing, and it would take me to this. That would be great. So this is for the health bar. Okay. Well, that's fine. I just don't remember that being there, honestly, so... You know what? Hey, man, it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. As long as it's working, that's all that matters to me. So I guess it was there the whole time. My bad. I didn't realize. But regardless, let's go into this. And we're going to check out our arena here. Of course, towers inside this. And this is where we have that template. So it's... Why is it all the way over here? That's super strange, guys. I wasn't expecting this to be like literally across the whole entire screen, but I mean, I think it fills in like from the center, so that's why if we actually make this visible, it should just fill in. Yeah, it goes right to the center, so it doesn't really matter, but you know, that is something that we just got to kind of keep in mind here. However, on the right side, we were right about using this image button, so we have that, you know, simple frame, and then, you know, we have now this, so it'll be just like the left buttons, but in, you know, in this case, it's towers. So yeah, we're definitely on to the right thing here, guys. So let's go back to the lobby. So we got the left buttons, right? Left side buttons, that's what that is. You know, very simple, nothing too complicated there. Now we have ourselves this little image button. So positional wise, we want this to be, well, first of all, we want it to be 1, 0, 1, 0. So we'll set that up like that. And I lied because that's not what we want. We don't want it to be the full, you know, thing there. So we'll set that to 0.2. That's looking more so like it. Set this to XX. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. Probably have to make this a little bit bigger though. I don't know why that's it's a little too small. So 0.5 maybe. No. What if I did like just 1? What does that look like? Okay, no, that's a little too big right there, I think. Yeah, so maybe 0.75. No, oh, I went to 0.5. I think I did. I was trying to do 7.5. Yeah, 0.75 is looking really good. That's honestly a pretty decent size. Even 0.7 might be better. We could try 0.7 really quick here. But yeah, that honestly looks perfect. So, okay, so more things that we could do here. First of all, this background, let's set this to 0.9 just so we can kind of see it, kind of not. Now, as for this, we're going to go ahead immediately add in that UI corner. And I believe we could somehow set this to like a circle, which would be pretty neat. So let's see, how do we do that? So maybe 1 1. Is it 1 1 or do I have to go like 100 here or something like that? Not sure, guys, not sure. Okay, and also that was hanging off the screen a little bit, but how did I get so we did something that's a full circle. What did we make that was a whole like actual circle, guys? Does anyone remember? We did something that was straight up a circle, and I don't remember what it was. Does anyone have any idea what we did that was a whole entire circle? Because controls, oh, it might have been in our controls, guys. Yeah, I think it was this cancel button and stuff. Let me see here. We definitely added in some sort of, I wonder if we go ahead and make this visible real fast, if we could see. Okay, I think it was still this, even though I know it looks like this, but I could have sworn that we, it's probably because I made the background invisible, so you can't actually even tell now, but I could have sworn we had circles for that, but it doesn't matter because, you know, we can figure this out. I'm not too concerned, you know, we'll get that squared away here. It's just because of that, we need to somehow, some way, is it if I make this corner radius 1? I would have thought it would have been 1, guys, but maybe not. I don't know. Corner radius, what else can we do in here? Nothing? It's okay if we go square. I'm not too concerned about that. but I just thought that would have been 1. You know, maybe I'll just have to ask AI real quick here or something like that. It's not the end of the world, so, you know, I'm not too concerned. So if you just pull up Chat GPT here real quick, and if we ask, like, how do I make circle text, or it should be image button with UI corner on Roblox Studio maybe, and it might tell us how to do that. So let's see what it will do. So UI corner with the UI, yep, so that's what we want, and it'll tell us here. The property wise, it's trying to set us up some other stuff here, which, you know, is fine and all, but not exactly what I want it to do. But I wonder, like, see, that's trying to use like code, right? Can you just give me properties? Because that is a little bit easier to do than that. Minimal properties for a circular image. Okay, so it must be a square. That's fine. You know, we know that. Obviously, we got that. And then the corner radius 0.5 and comma 0. Okay, so if that's the case, I was close. I did point, you know, I just did 1. So obviously, a little bit of a problem there. But let's try 0.5, see if it's right. And it did nothing. It did nothing. Come on. Come on, AI. We're going to figure this out, boys. Well, we might have to go back, check out Numbcode's video. But it also could be something to do with maybe like the size that I set, because I set it to 1 here instead of what it was before. Or maybe because it's relative XX instead of XY. Let's see if I go Y. What's YY? Okay, obviously not YY. So XY looks like that. Now that looks terrible, boys. So what if I did this? So that's XY. What if I did the 0.5? Because that's looking way more circly. So 0.3. I mean, that's almost a perfect circle. Maybe if I go 0.25. Okay, so it's just got to be a little bit bigger. That would probably solve the problem for us here. So 0.3. And then, like, the frame itself is obviously part of the issue here. You guys can kind of, you know, hopefully tell by looking at this. Okay, so 0.2, we gotta, let's see, guys. So we have all that, and then it seems like, I made that a little bit bigger, but I think that made it honestly a little bit worse by making the frame bigger like that. So if I go 0.1, that's like so close to being good. So 0.15, it's like, it's almost there, guys. Like that is almost a good circle. It's obviously not a good circle, but it's so close, guys. It's so close. What if I go like 0.3? What does that do? So 0.3, and if I go all the way up to 0.1, that is honestly 1 is it's basically a circle. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much. I just don't know why. You know, you can't even go any higher than that. Honestly, it doesn't seem to do anything. So that should be good for us, guys. Honestly, I'm not too concerned about this. So let's set this one up. This will just be like units. So I mean, it doesn't really matter what color we do any of this, but we gotta have certain like backgrounds and stuff like that. So and then obviously we're just gonna end up like copy and pasting all this. So we could just do like a UI list layout or maybe grid layout. Honestly, I don't know which one would be better here, but you know, between list and grid layout, I don't know the difference here. Oh, that made it into an actual circle though. Yo, check that out. So if I put that into the grid layout there, well, the grid layout just disappeared. That's just wonderful. So I wonder why that did that. But position says 0, 0. I have no idea why that just went away, but you know, I couldn't tell you guys. I couldn't tell you here. Otherwise, we would be fine. But this maybe 1, comma 0, comma point. Oops, I should say 0.3, not just 3, because that'll be a problem. So there we go. We got the grid layout working now. At least it looks like it is. I guess you don't put it inside of the grid layout. I thought you would have, but maybe you just don't. So maybe it'll just actually work now. But what we want to do here, fill direction is going to be vertical. And then start corner should be top left, I guess, yeah. And then fill direction max cells, I don't think we care about that. Horizontal alignment should be center. And top is maybe also, yeah, probably what we want there. Okay, so that's good for right now. I still think that this thing is a little too large. It just doesn't really look right? Like, am I wrong, or is it just me? 0.25. No, see, then that makes it just not like, maybe I have to make this like 0.8. Yeah, guys. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So maybe if I make this 0.3 now, no, maybe 0.25 was more like it. And then maybe this should be like 0.7. Okay, guys, there we go. We're on to something. We are on to something. That's looking like a legit circle now. So we've finally come full, you know, when we got this finished. Okay, cool. Anyways, this here, now we can work on actually doing this. So background color for right now, we'll just do this one green, I guess. And this, it's gonna have like an image on it, right? So for right now, I'll just grab like, you know, maybe like let's just say it would technically be something like this, right? But it'll say like units, right? But that's just gonna kind of confuse us, I feel like. So let's just try to find one of our guys, and then we'll toss him up there, and then we'll call it a day. So something like that, right? So we'll put him right there for right now, and then this button is gonna need to have a text label, and that's gonna have to go somewhere like right here, keep in mind, because we got to get that, like literally it has to be perfect, otherwise it's just gonna look ugly. So we're gonna go for Doka 1, and let's make sure we select that. I don't know why it keeps popping up like that. Text scaled, obviously, and then this is gonna say units, remember? So boom. Background transparency's got to go to 1. See, boys, you know, we're trying to learn out here. You know, we're doing one thing at a time. Is it going to be the fastest that you ever seen someone code this before in your life and, you know, do UI? Probably not, but that's, you know, that's okay. We're learning here. You guys maybe learn it too. But we'll have that somewhere around there. Positional wise, you know, we want to get it like in the actual middle somewhere, right? Like that'll just look better. And I'm debating on having this all caps like that. Units, no, maybe not. Just units is fine. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. So we'll have units like that, and anything else that we need to officially do here? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. Besides this, see this positioning, like I don't know. I don't know why it should be okay if I keep it just somewhere right in the middle there. I think that's perfectly in the middle. However, this is something that is not right. Once again, we always got to do this in this format, otherwise it's going to look goofy. So there we go, and we just got to move it to the correct spot, which is once again pretty much going to be right there, and that's going to take up that whole. See, my only concern is it's kind of not in that image, which definitely does concern me. But what I could do, I guess, so size, definitely we want that to be 1, and then positioning wise, it should be all the way at the bottom, right? So now why is that not like actually attached to the image button, right? That's up there. So maybe you just put 0. No, clearly we have to go down a little bit. That's fine. Go down 0.3. 0.3 looks like the perfect spot to do it. All right, good. There we go. Now we got that all squared away. Looks good. All right, so now that we have that, we are obviously going to want to create some other images as well, such as, well, you guys know, I mean, it could be anything. We could do, you know, literally, you know, who knows? I mean, we got to do shop, we got to do trading, you know, stuff like that. So those are things where I'm going to have to find icons for, and it's not too big of a deal, but we're just going to copy and paste these, get that set up, and it should be good. So with that being said here, I'm just trying to think, should we put on like some sort of UI stroke, or, I mean, probably, right? I think it'll make it look nicer, but I'm trying to figure out how to do that again. I know we could just do it by adding it, but I thought there was like a thing in here, like, oh, border right here. Oh, is it not going to let us do that? It might not let us do that unless I actually add in the UI stroke. So let's just try doing the UI stroke real quick here, and then we'll see what that looks like if we actually make it, you know, do it that way. Okay, yeah, I think that honestly might look a little bit better, but something's off with the text here, I feel like. I don't know. What do you guys think of the text? Right now, I feel like it's a little goofy. Let's see. I don't know. What's this all about? Oh, I'm surprised you can't make that any, like, you know, I would have liked that to have, okay, honestly, I think that the problem with that is, so that's fine and all, but I could just add another UI stroke into this, and I think it might make it look better, because I could actually, like, adjust what it looks like that. That's what I kind of mean, you know? But then again, I think that now that it looks like that, maybe we go down 0.35, maybe 0.4, and kind of hang that down at the bottom there, and it might look pretty decent, you know? Maybe a little less here, maybe like 6 on that. Boom. Is that good? Maybe 5. Maybe, I don't know, guys. Maybe go up again a little bit more, 0.35 now. Try that. It's all about trial and error here, I feel like, honestly, guys. A little trial and error, you know, and you're going to figure it out. But that's looking a little bit better. And for this, we should just say, you know, name this to, you know, unit label, I guess, or unit text, maybe. Just call it that, because I mean, that's what it is straight up. So that's all good now. Image button. And then instead of having that, it would be units button. There we go. And then now this is where we're going to copy and paste these in. So once again, this should, if I duplicate this, it should go straight down. Now, the reason it did that is because obviously the cell padding here, we need to have a little vertical cell padding. I don't know how to do that yet. So we're going to, it's like, that's how you do it right there. That's all I got to do. So maybe if I add that into like 50, a little too much, maybe 30. That's better. I think that these are, you know, maybe, I don't know, like what happens here if I do like a bunch of these though? Like if I keep going, oh, then they fill on the side like that. That's a little troublesome. I don't think that's what we want. That's okay though, because once again, we'll figure this out. There's always gonna be a way, right? So I don't know why it would do that, but I'm not sure how many buttons we're gonna need here anyways. So this could always be something that is probably, you know, relatively easily adjustable. Not too concerned. I'm just trying to think of like, what would be the things that we need on the left side? If any of you guys have any cool ideas, or, you know, feel free to let me know. But we definitely are going to need like a, you know, like a units button, which is, you know, what we're trying to do right now. Obviously, though, we can make these a lot smaller. Once again, I'm on like HD 720 right now. So clearly making these smaller is going to be the move here. So even like when it comes to the frame size, boys, we could just literally like 0.1 probably, right? And then I know that looks terribly goofy right now, right? So what we got to do for that, cell size, maybe 0.5, and then maybe this 0.5. What? Okay, so that makes it into like a really weird looking shape there. We don't want that. What happens if I go 0.1? So 0.1 is obviously not what I want. And then this should be like literally 0.1-ish. And then this also should be like maybe 0.3. Okay, obviously a little too small there, 0.5. And then this just needs to be a little bit larger, so 0.25. Oh, we're getting somewhere, guys. We're getting somewhere, 0.2. Obviously, though, that is, that's looking a little small right now, so we can't have it looking like that, and it's looking horribly goofy. So that's not good, not good at all. But just getting this correct is the hard part. Once we get this correct, then we're all good, boys. Then we're all good. Then we got nothing to worry about. So it's just a matter of doing all this, and then we're home sweet home. But for right now, this is still obviously a problem. So looks like this is going to be the thing that gives us the most issues here. The cell size. It's hard to get this perfect, but that right there looks pretty darn good. I could even you know, move that perfectly. So that is exactly, for the most part, how we want this. The only thing I would say is potentially, you know, if I could have it my way here and position it myself, but it's not looking like it's going to let me do that, unfortunately. So cell-wise, yeah, that's all good. Cell padding, I don't know what this cell padding like this one is. I'm not sure what that does there. Like if I put 50 right there, I'm not too sure. So maybe we should let that go for a second. Now, as for all of this, fill direction, max cells, I guess that would determine how many you could actually put here. But, you know, like I said before, we're going to have units, shop, trading, at least for now. Those, so what is that? That's 3. And then I have another idea for something really cool, but I'm also thinking that maybe we could have the index on the screen too. I actually have that in my my other games, so we could probably fit 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can fit 4, guys. Let's just see if we can fit 4 and see what it looks like. We might be really close to fitting 4. Perfect. We can fit 4, guys. Let's go. All right, that's perfect. That's perfect. Literally perfect here. So now we go into each and every single one of these, and instead of this being units button, we're gonna call this shop button. And then the next one, obviously, well, this one, we're going to have to go in here and change the text to shop. A lot of stuff, of course, is going to have to be renamed. This is the problem. Like, this is why doing this UI stuff is horrible, guys. This stuff is horrible. I hate doing UI. Actually, I don't mind it, honestly. If I could get better at it, I think it's going to be more fun. But for right now, it's kind of painful. Not going to lie. A little painful. All right, so trading button. There we go. And some of this stuff, once again, boys, you know, bear in mind that, you know, we're new to all this, so I'm not going to know how to actually do this until I, you know, get better at this. So just keep it in mind, okay? Don't be stressing here. We're gonna work on it, but just remember, I am a noob at all of this. We learned everything as we came, along this journey. We're on day 22, right? So, oops, didn't even do that. We're on day 22 though, boys. So, one day at a time, one day at a time. That's what they say. So trading, and oh, that looks terrible, guys. That's all right though. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. Maybe. We gotta maybe this thickness here on the not that one. What was it? Oh, it's in here. I think I screwed that up there. I think it was 0.47 before, but can't even notice it. All right, anyways, the UI stroke here, maybe make that a little bit. Whoa, 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 not that large. Hold on a second there. Make it like that maybe, or is that too much? Honestly, even having it like low like that is fine too. Just having it like maybe 1.5 for all of them, it would maybe make it a little bit nicer. I don't know. It's tough to say. Tough to say, guys. This is, like I said, gonna be like one of the hardest parts is setting all this darn UI up with pretty much no help at all, because once again, the way we were doing this before, we've been following along this whole time. So now we're kind of here on our own, seeing what we learned. Kind of, that's, it's gonna make it interesting though. Like I said, for sure, it's gonna make this very, very interesting experience. I'll tell you guys that, because it's just me now, boys. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some help here and there. But okay, for this one though, index, button, boom, and then we got to go to that text and maybe turn that UI stroke down to 1.52 just to keep it consistent, right? So, and then we're gonna turn that to index. Make it say index. That way, you guys can check your index, see what y'all still need or whatever, right? So yeah, there we go. That's that. Now, obviously, I don't want it to exactly look like that. That's not the whole point of this. It's gonna look a little bit different, I think, because, well, once again, guys, that's not what we're really going for here, right? So we're more going for something a little teeny tiny bit different. And I could even make that look probably better if I just make it on Canva and then just use a square or something like that. Honestly, that might make my life a lot easier, but I think that looks okay. It gives that circle a nice button looking vibe to it, right? I think it does, at least. I think that it would be nice to actually get like an image in there though, and switch that up a little bit. Obviously this for right now, at least, like the background here. The thing is, I could just go to my Canva. So like the way I did the soldier, I just threw him into a logo and kind of give it like a little darker and whiter side over here, and that's good. It's working. It's clearly working. So I could even keep that right now. That's fine. We could have that as our unit guy, or I could change it to whatever I want. It's the shop. I'm gonna get like a little shop icon. For the trading, I'm gonna get a little trading icon. Index, I don't know what that icon would be, but if anyone has any ideas what an index icon would look like, let me know, because I don't know. But so far, so good with all the left buttons. Now, we don't want to make this episode 5 hours long, so we're not going to add in like literally every single thing and like, code this all right now. That could be another day. But the other thing that I do want to do, at least to think about here, is we need to have another frame, guys, right? This frame is going to be down here at the bottom, okay? So keep this in mind, bottom frame. Let's try to find, well, once again, it doesn't really matter. So we'll just kind of get this all into plugin. We'll add unit conversion to boom, boom. There we go. Cool. Now, throw that off to the side. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Kind of wish I could just keep it up there to the side. Okay, cool. There we go. Now, this size, right? We're going to want to have this maybe 0.5. Take up that. And then kind of make this maybe 0.52. Get it in the middle here somewhere. Let's see here. So size. Oh, that's actually not going to be. Okay, no. We don't want to do that. That's not what we want. We want to have that 0.1, maybe 0.2. Because this is gonna be what shows down here at the bottom, right? It's going to show us exactly what we have equipped, right? That's gonna be down here. Maybe that's still a little too large. Maybe 0.15 there with the Y. That's probably a little bit better. I think that's what we want, guys. Just that right there, and it'll say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I don't know how this is going to work, but maybe I can find a video to help me out with this. Let's just kind of set up a basic looking thing here and go from there. So name, bottom, these aren't even buttons. So we could say this would be like equip I don't know which, I don't know if that might be too equipped units or just active units, maybe active units. I don't know, it doesn't matter as long as we can make sense of it. That's fine. So active units, that would go down there, and then it was, like I said, we would have in, not necessarily, I don't think that they would be image buttons, because we're not necessarily doing that. What we would be doing is you'd go into your units, right, into your inventory. So you click your units, it would pull up your units, like your actual units that you have, right? And then from there, you'd click it. Now those would be actual image buttons, but then it would just kind of reproduce that image down here in the slot that's available. So I don't think that these are going to necessarily be image buttons. I think that they're just going to be straight up, unless, wait, now that I'm thinking about it, no, I don't even think that would be what you would do, because you want to just click these to like unequip them. You would go back into your units and then unselect the ones that are currently selected, right? So, or unequip them, I guess. But yeah, so in here though, let's get these image labels going, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and make this, scale and size, whatever, just kind of do that. And then for this, we are gonna want, for the X, 0.15 is looking pretty solid, but for the Y one here, we're gonna make that point just straight up 1. And then maybe, like I said, this will be 0.15. I think that looks, maybe we could go a little bit more or something like that. Maybe 0.2. No, that's looking a little crazy there. 175, how's that? 175 looks really good. And then for like the background on this, guys, I don't know if we go like, well, remember this, it's got an image placeholder here. So I guess we could kind of just have like a, like what I'm thinking about is like just a straight up gray background or something like that. I wish I could just get rid of this image though for now. It would load the image that we want it to load. That's the whole point, right? It would just straight up load it, but I want the background to at least show for right now. Like maybe I could just put this X here, and then I'm just trying to think of like, oh, maybe, no, not exactly, because I want there to be like cool little spaces, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we could do it this way. This wouldn't be too big of a deal, honestly, but we want it to be like this, and then, oops, and then kind of have it like that, but each unit individually have its own little like space, because this in itself doesn't all look that good, right? We would want it to just probably autofill in some sort of way, but I'm just trying to think of how you would even go about that, because once again, your boy here, I ain't no pro at this, guys. I ain't no pro. So we're living and we're learning and we're thinking and trying to figure this all out. But so far today has been, mostly a success. I just want to at least get this done, and there's still so much more to do, guys. That's the thing. There's so much to do, so much to set up. It's gonna be a whole process, boys. I'll tell you that. I will tell you all that. Now, keep in mind here, these active units, I still think that they should probably go inside like this, right? And then also we're gonna have to have another UI like list layout. Is it a list? I don't understand the difference between list and grid. That's something that I don't understand the difference of. So if anyone knows that and y'all want to help me out with that, boys, try to tell me and explain that in the comments what that all means, okay? Seriously, because your boy doesn't know. Now, what is this all about here? If I see, I don't understand why when you actually try to put that into the grid layout, it doesn't actually work, but oh well, not a big deal, right? All right, so this though, when it comes to this, why is that cell, I feel like, not taking up the whole entire space there, right? It just doesn't seem to. So XY is 0.15 cell size, I believe, right? So 0.15 comma 0, and then, or am I doing this wrong? I don't think I'm doing it wrong. Then this would be 1 and then comma 0 again. Okay, so it makes it a little bit too square there, I feel like. Honestly, it doesn't look all that good. Maybe 0.2, no. Was it? Oh, I think it was 175 that we used. Yeah, 175 is more like it. So there we go. We got that all squared away. That looks perfect, I think, mostly. I wonder if I did this to X. Okay, that doesn't even matter, because it's just not going to matter at all. I just want to know how we would make this look better. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. I would honestly, like, ideally just have little spaces, because if you go to like TTD, they just have like little circles down here and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't know if you just go in and individually make their own space, but that can't be the way. So I don't think that's how we're going to be doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe try to look this up a little bit and see what I can find. All right, boys. So as you can see here, we got it set up. So what we did is we actually renamed this bottom thing to a hot bar. I think that was the word I was looking for, the hot bar. Come on, how could I not think of that? But anyways, mainly the same the way we had it before. We got that UI grid layout in there, of course. But this time I made the whole entire frame itself like, transparent. That's why we don't have like the whole entire thing. Now we can actually see the gaps in between each unit that we're going to have. So that looks a little bit better, I think. Now, as for the actual things here, the guy that I'm watching, his name's No Cap Studio, so big shout out to him. But he's using text, things here, but I think I want the images of the troops to actually display. But the text will work for right now. I don't think that's going to look too well. But he's kind of doing like, not necessarily a speedrun tutorial, but the good thing is he's basing it off to a tower defense, which is really good. And he made a summon machine, so that's really cool too. We could use that video from episode 1, kind of follow along on that and see what we can learn there. So huge shout out to him, and I'm hoping that his episodes will definitely help us out. But right now, he's kind of getting on into setting up the hotbar, which is, exactly what we wanted to do here, right? So let me just kind of hop into the game, see what that looks like. I'm just curious to make sure that that's all in the middle there. It looks like it actually is, so that's beautiful, guys. I think that's all. Is that in the middle? I think it's in the middle, guys. Pretty sure. The output's like right there, and then the 3's right there. Yeah, that looks like the middle to me, if you ask me, guys. I'm just a little bit concerned on, if you guys could see this here, it's just not like filling up the whole entire frame. So I just kind of feel like, theoretically, it should just, if it would let me move it, it should just be over slightly more, right? So maybe 0.3, like that. No, 0.275 is probably more. So where we got to be, 275, 273, honestly. No, 0.27. 0.27. All right, that is where we got to be. Now that's dead center, I think. So that's good. You can see the output and then the 3's right there. So yeah, that's looking like where we need it. We renamed all the buttons so they're correct, and I'm going to continue seeing what we got to do, and, if there's anything else we got to set up, because this is great. Now I got a video to follow along with. I'm probably going to have to go back to episode 1 and, start with actually setting up my, units and summons and stuff like that. Now, he did, like, a summons button over here on the left. I want to do a summons, like, kind of area, so, like, you would kind of, like, walk up to this guy, maybe, and he'll be, like, the summons pad, basically, this whole entire thing here. We can set up a nice little maybe outline of that too, and yeah, that would be the little summons area, so that could be pretty neat. I think we'll see what we could make happen here, I guess, and kind of go from there. So let's get to it, I suppose, right? Let's get to it, boys. Come on now. All right, boys, so real quick here, I'm actually gonna do some stuff that I might have said before I was gonna do differently, but I'm gonna switch up. I'm going back to Canva, and we're gonna work on setting up some of our basic things here that we're gonna be needing. So let's start off with simply our units little image. I'm not even going to do the circles, guys. I'm just going to do square buttons. I think that it'll just make it a little bit easier maybe for us, and honestly a little bit less confusing, which is just altogether for us as a beginner here a good thing. Now, outside of this, today's episode, we're going to wrap it up by doing this, because tomorrow what I am planning to do is, I think that the best thing that I could do right now is go to episode 1 of No Cap's like series, and then just kind of work from there, guys. I think that seriously, that might be our best bet, just for like the simplicity of actually following along on the things that he's doing. Because if I don't do it that way, let's be honest, guys, it's probably going to get a little bit complicated, right? So let's be smart about it. As I always tell you guys, it's best to just be smart about this type of stuff and play it the safe way, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play it safe. We're going to go back to the start and go from there. But let's start this episode off by going ahead and getting all this good stuff set up here. So luckily, we know how to do most of this stuff, like changing colors around and whatnot. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on doing today. I'm just trying to get like good colors here, maybe a nicer red. And then like for this, I don't know, we could do whatever the heck we want, guys. It's our own game, right? So Maybe something like that. I don't know. Is that good? Maybe a little bit on the darker side. Like that maybe. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what's good, what's not good. I think that looks okay though. Is that okay? That's fine. All right, so now let's go to this though. We're gonna go to shop and actually, sorry, not shop, elements, and then go like, I don't know, shop icon or something like that. Let's see what this comes up with, and we'll see what we could do. So perfect little shopping basket. That's probably gonna be good enough for us, right? Nothing too crazy. As I was saying, keeping this mainly simple is not a bad thing, guys. It's not a bad thing at all. Now, we can do some cool stuff with this. If you guys don't know Canva, this is a great program. It's free to use. You could get a premium version. It gives you a bunch of cool models and stuff, but do you need it? Probably not, boys. Probably not. But it's definitely nice to have, I'll tell you that. But as you guys can see here, we can just rock this and be pretty much okay. I'm going to kind of hang this towards the top because don't forget, we're going to have that shop icon text down here at the bottom probably. So, with that being said, let's just do that. And we shouldn't have any issues. Now, we could even go simpler than this because, instead of doing all those text labels and nonsense like that, we could just already have and just add the text into this. So, like, I could just go like this, say shop, and then we could go like this and, make this nice and big or whatever, like that. Kind of put it at the bottom there, put this like that. And this might be better. Honestly, doing it this way might be better, boys. Why not, right? Like, just simple. Simple. Keep it like that. I mean, is that the greatest icon you guys ever seen? No. But is it okay for a starting game, UI? I think so. I think that's fine. So let's try this out. So we're going to, download this, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the game, and we're just going to finish today's episode by finishing up these left side buttons and then maybe transforming these because, like I said, I think that we're going to have images as this. I'm trying to follow along best I can. I noticed that he's just going to have text labels pop up telling you what the name of the item is. I don't want it to be like that. I don't think, yes, that works. It's fine the way he's doing it, but you guys want to see, I think visually seeing what units you have is more powerful. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Am I being dumb? Maybe. Also, truck here. I was thinking of a cool system. I know in TDX, they have it so you guys kind of get into like the tanks and they start moving and like driving you away. I would love to figure that out with a truck like this. I think that would be so sick, kind of like a transport truck. So I'm thinking about that. I was just kind of like looking at that item there, but for right now, we don't really need it. I'm just going to delete it. Anyways, with the UI though, right? Let's go into Stutter GUI here. And then we're going to go into those left side buttons. We should probably also have frame at the end of that just to be consistent with our naming. Always important to do that. And then in here, let's go to the shop, okay? And we're gonna go ahead into the image, add image, choose file, shop, boom. Let's see what this looks like. Hopefully it'll look somewhat decent. Pray for me, boys. Shop. Okay, there's that. Now what we gotta do, UI corner, delete that, cool. And the shop text, delete that. We don't need it. Boom. Cool. And now we got ourselves a nice little shop UI. Let's just make that 1. And oops, I think that's on the wrong thing, guys. Sorry about that. This should just be 1 maybe. No, let's go 2. 2.5. 2.5. Let's try that. Why does it not look like... It's like not even or something. Something's goofy about that. Y'all see that? How it's like... I don't know. It looks goofed. It looks a little bit goofed, boys. Do you guys agree with me or you're what here? I don't know. It just looks a little bit weird. That's fine though. It works. All right. So yeah, that's good. That's exactly what we wanted, boys. Just like that. And then now we can go do that same exact thing for the rest of these, and it'll be very simple, UI here. Now grid layout, cell size, all that stuff. Oh, maybe if I go full 1 on this. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look quite right. Let me see here. I got to get this, the frame slightly to the right, guys. Slightly position. I don't know why it's not just 0. Okay, I see why it's not just 0. Oops. Let me see here. So size, how about, what if I go 1? Okay, now it's obviously like that. Now if I just drag it over here, though, make it like that. Okay, what if we just go like that now? Okay, yeah, that works. I still think that it's like a little bit off for some reason. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm just dumb, but it kind of looks like this right side is a little bit more bold than the top and the left here. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but mainly okay. I'm just gonna take this back to 0.9. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. Maybe even 0.85. Oh, clicked the wrong button or something there. That didn't work. 0.85. 0.85 is pretty solid, guys. We'll do 0.85. And then now what we got to do here is we just got to go back. We got to make a units one, a trading one, and an index one, which, like I said, I don't know what an index icon's going to look like. So if anybody has any ideas for that, please, I'm all ears, all right? Let's go back to our home here. And I could simply just, make a copy, go back into this, open this up. We'll call this one units, just like that. Get rid of this. We'll just, toss in maybe well, first of all, we got to change the colors real quick. So let's worry about that first. Go into here, go green for that. Should we go green? Maybe blue for units, guys. Probably blue. Let's try blue out, see what that ends up looking like, and then we'll go from there. So maybe we'll do something like that. Cool. Take this, change that to units, I guess. We just make it a little text a little bit smaller. It's fine, no big deal. Go like that. Cool. Put it right there. Awesome. And then now, let's go grab one of our guys, which should be down here somewhere. Get the nice little Russian unit right here. We'll throw him up there. Kind of like that or something. Cool. Just like that, I think would be fine. Maybe, you know what? We could even make his head kind of a little too big there. How about that? Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. That's perfect just like that, I think. And now, oh, is that perfect? Maybe I could just kind of not necessarily chop his head off, but just kind of go like that. Like that. Yeah, yeah, there we go. That just looks better, I think, honestly. Now, as for the text here, obviously in the game, we have this one looking like that, so probably should just keep it consistent. Oops, clicked out of that. Let's go back to Canva here. So to keep it consistent, we'll just keep it how it is, I think. Is that, yeah, that's how it was, right? Like where we had the white, yeah, okay, yeah, that's consistent. So we'll just download that now. We just got that to the right stuff, so download, boom, and then we go into the game, just like this. Cool. Find our unit stuff, so unit text, delete, we don't need it anymore, remember, unit corner, delete. And then we just got to go change the image, guys. So add image, choose file, units, and boom. This is I think that this is actually easier way of doing the UI. At least I think so personally. And not everyone's gonna agree with that probably, but I think that this is working quite fine here for us. So that's good too. That looks good. And then we just have to go ahead and do trading and index, and then we're done, boys. So with that being said, let's go back into this, delete him, make this say trading, just like that. Obviously, we're gonna have to go scale that text down quite a bit there, even more than that. Oops. Let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. Just like that. Says trading. Change this color to, let's see here. Trading could be green, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't, like I said, guys, none of this really matters. We just got to kind of make it different colors, right? So nice little green like that or something. Looks like the other one's blue. So let me make that a light green or something like that. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Cool stuff. Trading, boom. Now we just need to go find a trading icon. Let's see what this comes up with. So, oh, that's a good one right there. I don't have that one unlocked though, fortunately. Is there any good ones, boys? Let's see. This right here. Boom. Cool. There we go. Just go like this and make that a little bit smaller there, of course. I think I'm going to actually go into this too and give it some background there. Is that good? Maybe that's a little too much. 65, 66. That's good, guys. Just like that is fine. Honestly, though, the fact that that is green on green is kind of bugging me a little bit. What do you guys think? Should we change that color real quick? What was our other colors here? We did blue. Did I already do green? Am I an idiot? So the shop was red. The red shop is fine. That's cool. We got red, blue. So instead of having, because like yellow and green, we don't want to have red or green with that. We can make that yellow, I guess, right? So let's make that yellow real fast, and then we'll see what that looks like. Maybe that'll look a little bit better. We can even do nah, probably not orange. Yellow's honestly probably the best, right? So let's see what yellow looks like here. And oops, we don't want to go like that crazy yellow, right? I mean, that's fine. Let's chill with that. Nothing wrong with that. Cool. And I think that we will download that. Just got to name it trading. Boom. Share, download, downloaded. And back to the game we go. Into the trading button, delete that. Go into here, delete that UI corner. And then we just got to add that image in, boys. And then we just have the index left, which is no biggie. We could just do one more. This ain't that hard. Now you guys see how this works. My only concern after, adding all these different buttons in is going to be to check it and make sure it looks good. It's probably not going to in the iPhone 4 right now, as you guys can see here. But we'll figure that out in a moment or two. Just give me a minute. Let's set all this other stuff up real quick because it's not going to be scaling properly just yet, remember. All right. Anyways, we got that last one here, the little index. So just change a few things there. Boom and boom. Now we just got to go in and find a good index type thing here, right? So index, change this text to say index, just like that. Oops, no space there. Probably make that a little bit bigger too. It's not that big of a deal, right? There we go. Cool. And then now we just need to find an index logo type thing. Ooh, a little, magnifying glass might be a good idea. A book would work too, obviously, but what's the best? Maybe the magnifying glass is actually a good idea. I think that kind of makes sense. Now, some of these things, that's not the right index thing that we're looking for, but let's see here. Magnifying glass. Yes, sir. There it is. All right, cool. Toss that right there and go like that. We could even get like a nicer image even maybe, but do we even need it? Probably not, right? That's probably fine. I like this one. Ooh, oh, there's watermarks on that one. I can't use that one, unfortunately, boys. I could use this one, though. Can I? I could. I don't know if we want that, though. This right here might just be okay. Keep it nice and simple. We'll add in a little outline. Do a little white outline there like that. Perfect. Now we just got to do one last thing here, and that's change this background color. Maybe we can make this one a nice pinkish. I don't like that. It's too much. Too much. A little too much there. Come on now. What could I do here? Why is it not letting me change the actual colors, though, right? Like, I can see that. That's cool and all, but... Oh, here we go. All right, so, yeah, let's do pink. Make this pink, like, lighter or something like that. Yeah, perfect. All right, cool. Index is done. That's fine. That's good with me. Little magnifying glass, I think, works perfectly for the sense of an index. I think that makes total sense. So let's just make sure we add that image in now. Index. Boom. Boom. And boom. There we go, guys. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. The background transparency is coming up green. I think that's supposed to be at 1, right? It's probably supposed to be at 1. I don't know 100%. Let me just double check there. I think it's supposed to be at... yeah, that's definitely supposed to be at 1. So that way we won't have the green popping up anymore. Not necessarily that it would anyways, but for some reason it kind of was like... Maybe if it like the UI loads slow or something, it'll show up green first and then show the image. Load the image a little late. That way now we don't have to worry about that. So... Last thing to check here is to add these constraints on into this. So let's pull this up, scale that properly, add constraint, boom, boom, and boom, we got a constraint in there now. So if we shrink the screen, it should shrink with it, which it obviously is doing. Let's just check it on an iPhone 4. And why is that doing that? Why is that doing that? Come on now. Come on, iPhone 4. You're better than this. It looks like even that bottom UI is working a little bit better than this, which is quite concerning. But it's probably because we got to go into the actual buttons themselves now and maybe add in some constraints there too. You'd think it would be fine to just do that, but it's never enough, boys. It's never enough, let me tell you. So we'll go into each and every single one of these, add in constraints, add in unit conversions, whatever we got to do to make this work. I just learned to just do as many as you could do and just keep clicking buttons until it looks good. There we go, and let's try that one more time. iPhone 4, that looks terrible. It's mainly because of the frame, it looks like, just not being large enough on that screen, which still doesn't make much sense, but let me see here, what could we do? So obviously that frame, we even have the anchor point there, which is weird because I don't know why that wouldn't just work. Aspect ratio, doesn't matter if I go... Okay, so no, it doesn't matter if I do that. Let me go back to HD here. Now, what does this do? Okay, so 0 fit within max size, dominant axis height maybe, and scale with parent size. I think that's probably the issue, right? Okay, so this is the HD version, which now that's a little small looking if you ask me. Is that because we messed with this? Let me see. Okay, that is definitely because we messed with this. So that's one. What were we at before? 2.5. 0.25. That looks really good right there. Honestly, that looks perfect. So if, now we have it scaled with parent size. So pray for us that if we go down, no, it doesn't work, guys. What the heck? Why doesn't that work? Tell me, boys, why doesn't that just work? Just why? Why? Delete all those. The frame, like if I have to make the frame go from top to bottom, I will, but just not ideal. So let's just extend the frame out a little bit, make it a little bit larger, and that should solve those issues. I just don't really understand why I have to do that, but let's just see if we could mess around with this and get it to actually work properly. Also, the cell size could be part of the issue. Actually, the padding itself is probably what's causing the problem here. The padding, maybe, I don't know if it would be this or this one. So maybe if we do 20, like that might work better. We could try that real quick, just see what it looks like on an iPhone 4. Now, I know no one's going to be playing on an iPhone 4, but clearly it's still not even working over here on this, which is so weird because, like, why is it not just sticking in the frame, right? Like, that truly doesn't make any sense. Like, this should be inside of the frame. Now, it's obviously because this is going to the right, but you would just think that it would be in the frame, but it's not. So let's figure it out. One step at a time. Position, nope. Size wise, it would be the Y, and we would want to make that maybe 0.85, like that. Now that just once again goes and makes these the cells a little too large now. So we would have to go in here, maybe make these cell size like 0.75, and we could try that 0.75, and then maybe this 0.25 now. Nope. Maybe 0.15. Nope. Maybe 1.75. Maybe that. And then we could actually fit in a fifth one there if I needed to. So that should be better. Obviously, that looks better. That's working. It's just, honestly, the problem here with that is that we have this UI stroke going. So maybe if we make that UI stroke just 2, maybe 2.5, like that. Oops, nope. 2.5. Sorry, boys. 2.5. It would be good. Honestly, if I just did like a black background on the image itself when I created it, probably would have just looked better, to be fair, but this will work. Let's do 3. Keep it even there, even numbers. It was 5 before. We're gonna go to 3 now. Looks like I was messing around. Some of them, they're not all the same, which is kind of weird and annoying, but there we go. Now we'll go down to the iPhone 4. It looks better, and that is 720 right here. We could even move this on over very slightly to the right even more. And obviously these images are kind of centered here. So we could just position that maybe 0.1 like that. Nope. We got to do, you would think that would work. I don't know why. Like, so that's 0.2. Why 0.1, 0.0, let's see, 0.05 maybe? How does that look like? No, it's close. It's close, boys. It's close. Maybe 0.09. Try that. No, it's so close. Honestly, I don't know why I'm having these issues here. 0.06, 0.075. 0.075 is a little much. How about that? 0.7. I think 6.5 is the answer. Maybe 0.6, actually. Maybe 0.55. Jeez. No, 0.6 it is. There we go. All right, well, we'll try that. Let's go to iPhone 4. Still hanging off the side there a little bit. Obviously, that's going to drive me crazy. Oh, no, it's not. What the heck? When you actually load in, it's actually not. So that actually looks really good there. That's perfect. Now we got that looking good. The rest of the stuff is not too much of a big deal. Honestly, what I probably would have to do here eventually, if, even at all, would just be no, I wouldn't. I would just maybe add in a second one here, and they would just go down. Yeah, I don't even have to mess with that. We would just like left buttons 1 and left buttons 2, and then just add in the other ones that we need. But we don't really be having too many more other than like Honestly, no, I don't even know anything else. I can't even think of anything else. I really don't think anything else we would need. So with that being said, the hotbar frame down here, I would probably like to also add in these other things here, such as that constraint, just so we could actually make sure that it is scaled properly for other devices. Otherwise, it will look like complete and utter garbage. And even those little text labels there, they're looking a little large, but you know, once again, guys, the odds of like anybody even playing on mobile is slim to none. But hey, man, you never know, right? You never know, and I don't count my mobile players out. So I really hope that these are actual image buttons. Yeah, they are. Okay, cool. Oops, didn't mean to do that. If I even did anything. Oops. Go back. Okay, cool. That's all good, guys. I mean, I think that we're chilling now. I don't know if like really there's anything else I would need to do here, but personally, I think it's looking good. I think it's looking great. Outside this hotbar frame, maybe the UI grid layout thingy here, the cell size I think is a little, you know, the padding wise, maybe I think we should go 10. Try that out. Oh, that didn't do anything. Wonderful. Beautiful. Come on. There we go. All right, now a little bit more space in between there, right? That's better. Now, like I said, guys, I think that, you know, maybe for like the next video or whenever we get there, I'll probably go ahead and actually change these from text labels. And I know this is going to suck. I'm going to have to do this all over again. But, you know, we can even keep it for now just to kind of go along with his videos or whatever. But I would like this to be image labels because I wanted to actually show you guys the name of the unit that you're going to be, you know, using, right? That'll make more sense. But my plan now, I'm not going to do any more with that video that I was just looking at for him on how he set up the hotbar or whatever, because I'm going to go back to episode 1, start from scratch. I think the first thing he does is go over summons, guys. The most important thing that we're going to need for the game so we can start getting our units and set up an inventory system, which he does all in episode 1. So no cap, shout out to you, man. Absolute legend. You're going to be helping this game out a ton. You know, obviously we got pretty much everything else working. And at episode 2, we get into talking about setting up the teleportation pads. So we can do it the good way that we actually want to do it, not the elevator. You know, keep the elevator there for now for testing. But as for everything else, guys, I think day, 23 for us? Yeah, day 23 is going to be a big day. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be the summons day. Probably a lot of, you know, people are looking forward to that episode, especially on how to do it. So, you know, if you never seen No Cap's video, well, now you could, you know, follow along like with his tutorial, you know, through my game. So we'll see. So big shout out to him once again. I'm going to be definitely checking that out for tomorrow's video. But for today, guys, outside of the left frame bar being slightly visible, there we go. It's invisible now. Now that is looking good. I think that is honestly fine for us. Like I said, for starting UI, that's chilling. So we're just going to get that unit stuff working, the shop working, and trading and all that. I think he actually adds in a summons button. Now, I don't hate that. Honestly, I don't hate that at all. So, will I do that too? Possibly. Just to have it there. I mean, it's going to be tough to fit all these buttons, guys. It's going to get a little ridiculous. But I would just like a summons area where you walk up to it and trigger it that way. But I'm sure that we could have it work either way. So, if I have to follow along for the video's sake, I'll do that. But, you know, we'll make it work, guys. I'm not too worried about it. But, guys, thank you for watching day 22. We definitely made a little bit of progress here with some more UI elements. So, you know, I know some of y'all may not like the UI episodes, but UI is very, very important for any single game that you guys ever have played. It's one of the most important things you could be doing. So, thank you for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Adios.